This is a 2004 Fairline Squadron. Should we do that again? This is a crikey. All right, third time's a charm. This is a 2004 Fairline Squadron 55, and I wanted to show you this boat for a couple of reasons. Firstly, because I really like Fairlines of this era. I think they're really quirky and really interesting boats. And secondly, because it's just such a huge amount of boat for the money. It's well worth taking a look at. So we'll step on board via the bathing platform. It's not a high-load platform, but it does have the passerelle, which you can use to lift a tender and drop it on. This fella here, incidentally, that's a life raft. Now we're going to take a tour of this one. It's up at boats.co.uk. They're doing some work on it currently, so you have to excuse that it's not quite as nicely presented as perhaps we would normally like, but nonetheless I wanted to show it to you because I just think it's fantastic. We'll start on the inside and then we'll work our way out, and I'll explain to you what I like about it. Now the first thing I like is the quality of the woodwork on these era Fairlines is fantastic. I mean, Fairline really are known for their wood, and I just think the detailing, just that table there is just brilliant. So lovely social area. You've got the bar opposite, so there's a fridge over in the corner. For example, this is for your bottle storage, and then there's storage in the center there. This is the switch panel, so this controls all the electrics on the boat. So your ship's battery systems, all the 240 volt stuff, all controlled from there. And then what is interesting is the way they've laid this area here out. We'll start down here. This is the galley, so your sinks are on this side. What's nice about this, in fact, is when you're down here, you're still connected with the people in here, but this isn't part of the saloon. So I think that works very, very well. If we go across to this side, then we've got things like storage drawers, microwave is built in down here. This is all storage, of course, along here. There's a fridge down here, and then you've got the ceramic hob over on this side. But what you might not expect is what's down here. Check this out. This is a utility room. How nifty is that? That's fantastic. So washing machine is in here. There's a freezer in here. There's a load more storage. You can see the owner of this one was very organised. He's labelled everything, which is great. And how about this? It really is the ironing board. Look at that. That's fantastic, isn't it? You don't see that these days. And then down underneath here, that again is just more storage in places like that. But that's a fantastic area. It's just not something you find on modern boats. They're so focused towards ultimate sleeping accommodation that you lose out on things like this, and I think it's great. So let's go back up through the galley. Close that one behind me. Back into this saloon area. Doesn't that look nice? Another thing you don't find these days, stairs up to the flybridge from in here, so you don't have to go out the back and then back up. You just walk straight out through. Brilliant, of course, for catering from the galley, because you just come straight out and around and up. And then we head forward again. This is then the dining area, so that's separate, which again, on a 55-foot boat, you don't always find that. And the other thing you might have noticed is there's a doorway here straight out onto the side deck. So again, everything is just so accessible on this boat. Let's head around a bit further. Helm position is up here. I love these sort of club seats, aren't they? The way they've done this. These have got lift bolsters, just makes it easy to get in and out, or you can stand at the helm if you want to. And then this, very much of its era, with the Raymarine screen here. That's your radar and your chart plotter. Autopilot is here, speed and depth. Volvo engine instrumentation, electronic engine controls over here, and all this sort of walnut finish. Again, very much of its era. You don't see much walnut on dashboards these days, but actually I think that looks pretty good. Very nice. Let's head down to the lower deck. You've got these really wide steps as you come down here. And then we'll head on forward. As I say, she is having some work done at the minute, so you have to excuse the fact that we've got canopies and things in here out of the way. But that is the master cabin. Nice size. You've got the hatch up above, storage all the way around the outsides, and there is also, and underneath here, for example, there's a big drawer there, and you've got wardrobes either side. Like so. And this, as you would expect, has got its own ensuite, and a very nice size it is too. There we go. And this is more storage. And then as we come back down the boat, you'll see that there is another heads in here. I'm going to show that from the other side actually, because this is all set up so that this heater and the dehumidifier is just drying out the whole interior. So what I'll do, I'll show you this cabin first of all. That's got 2 single beds in that go back underneath there, and then there's an identical cabin to that on this side. And as you can see, without all the stuff in it, you get a much better impression of the size. But this one, where this does vary, is it has this doorway, and this takes you then into that day heads. And that was the door then from the main passageway that we just walked past. Again, a great size. That's that dehumidifier. Just churning away, keeping everything dry. Excellent. Let's come out of here and back up. We'll take a turn around the outside. We'll have a look at the flybridge, and we'll finish up with the engines, of course. So back out through here. Pop my shoes back on. One thing I did notice on this boat is in this locker is another set of engine controls just here. So you can bring those up into play and actually control the boat from here. Now the reason for that is if you're stern to berthed, you can stand at the back of the boat, you've got your helm controls, you've got your bow thruster control, you can handle the whole boat from here as you drop it back in. And that underneath, that is a manual bilge pumping system. So it's a backup. There is an electric system as well, of course, but that allows you to pump the bilges manually if the electric pumps weren't working for any reason. Let's have a stroll around the deck this way first of all. This is very much a Fairline feature of the era, these sort of straight areas like this. In fact, all the mouldings here just look really good. And then up to the front. Now up here, you can have sunbathing if you want it, so there's cushions that go onto here. Teak decks as well is a nice feature, and these big fender racks on either side. And all your anchor handling kit, of course, is up here on the front. Nice looking boat. Let's go all the way around because I want to show you that side door. So from inside, you can come round and out here. So again, from that galley, you can just come straight through and out to bring drinks up to people on the foredeck, for example. Very nice. And then we'll come right back down this side and we will find the steps up to the flybridge. Now, something I really want to show you here, it's a bit geeky, but you see how this opens like that? Now that at the minute is not secure, so if somebody grabs hold of that, it'll come down. But look at the way they've arranged this section here so that, if you see on the other side of that, you see as you turn this handle, this thing moves, and what it does is it goes all the way around and locks that into place, and that now lines up perfectly to give you a handrail with everything secure. It's a bit geeky, but I like it. Seating around the back, of course there's cushions to go on all over here and a big table, and then over here we have the barbecue, and on that side is the sink. And there's also a fridge which is out at the minute, which means that either someone's braked much too hard or more likely that's being repaired or replaced. So as I say, this boat is currently a little bit of a work in progress, but hopefully you've enjoyed having a look at it just to see what it's all about, because I think these are just a great boat. Helm position here, and then you've got obviously engine controls and instrumentation, and a great view out across the front. And this is a Bimini, so this will fold out and give you a big sun top over here to give you shade. You can see there's another section of it there, so these meet up and shade this entire area. Let's head on back down. The last thing we haven't seen is engines. In fact, there's a couple of last things we haven't seen. There's something else I want to show you, which is back here. This does actually have a tiny crew cabin. It's probably something you'd not use very often, but it's there if you ever wanted it, or if you wanted a bit of a den for a kid. And it's down here. These mostly get used for storage on this side of the boat because honestly these are normally owner operated, but nonetheless it's there. There's a bed down this side, there's a little sink, there's a little loo. It's just an extra little area if people want it, but as I say, most of the time these are just storage areas, as it is on this boat. However, it's not the only storage area because, take a look at this. That's a massive lazarette in there, so you could get maybe, I don't know, some inflatable paddle boards or other bits and pieces in there. That's the hot water tank in there as well. But yeah, you're not short of storage on here. It's excellent. Now, the last thing to talk about is engines, and to get to those, the best way actually is to go back inside. The engines are under the saloon here. So we'll head down here, back into the utility room. Look at these T-tail rails. Let's go back into here. And then this is the engine bay. So let's open that one up. There we go. Now in here are a pair of Volvo D12 715 horsepower engines. So they're big old brutes. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of lighting going on here at the minute. I think possibly that wants a bit of augmenting. But nonetheless, there they are. You can lift panels up, of course, in the saloon as well. So you can get a lot more light and access into here. These are big engines. These are going to push this boat on towards 30 knots, I would think. And then range, you're probably about 250 miles with this. But yeah, nice, big, chunky engines. Excellent. Let's slide that one shut. And we'll head back out of here. Let's clip that one back, in fact. There we are. And where are we going to finish off? I think back here on this lovely sofa. There we go. So there it is, Fairline Squadron 55. As I say, a little bit of work in progress at the minute, but I hope you've enjoyed having a look at that one because it is such an interesting boat. Thanks to boats.co.uk for organising that tour, and thanks as ever to you guys for watching. Catch you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.